I'm like that one guy on the podcast. It's like, like
Are you kidding me? You were
that's
great.
what it sounded like. It was so funny.
I'm the one who's like, oh, good gosh, why did I ask that question? That was dumb.
I'm just in the back giggling. It was great.
Welcome to episode 3 of Shop Talk, and my name is Jay Morris. With me is Jessica Thompson.
Hello.
All right, so Jessica, you do what exactly again, so people don't know you?
Yes, I'm the coordinator of Downtown Kalamazoo Shops, and we are collaborative of restaurant and retail owners who have come together to bring our community together.
All right, so this is episode 3. What we've decided, what we did is we've said, hey, look, there's a whole heck of a lot of really great stories for businesses that launch in downtown Kalamazoo. That's kind of where we started.
Yeah.
And we said, this whole idea of why people decide to put businesses where they put them and launch businesses when they launch them becomes fascinating for the two of us.
Exactly.
So we're like, okay, let's find as many people that we can talk about and talk to and see why.
Exactly.
It's like,
Share their stories.
Yeah. The why on that becomes really an interesting piece. And with us today is Amy. She is with LFG Gaming Bar and
Yes.
gaming twice, right?
Yes. Extra gaming. Plenty of gaming.
Gaming and lots of gaming. All right, so tell us a little bit about LFG.
All right. So LFG it stands for Liquor Food Gaming. So it is a retro arcade video game bar and located basically right in the heart of downtown. So, yeah.
So then I got to ask the follow-up question. It's like, okay, so when you were a kid, was the games the big deal? I mean, how do we get to this point?
So my parents were huge gamers when I was growing up. My dad loved Zelda Ocarina of Time. My mom really liked playing Tetris Attack, Toe Jam and Earl. We had all of the consoles. So like Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. And as I kept growing, I still had a love for video games. I really started loving video games more as I got older. And then my husband and I actually went to a video game bar in Orlando, Florida, about 7 years ago. And I thought, this is the coolest thing I've ever been to. Didn't realize these things existed. It was the first time I was just like, this is awesome. And I had this little tiny idea in my head where I thought, hey, what if something like this in Kalamazoo existed?
And now it does.
And now it does, yeah.
Absolutely. So what was that, that decision for you and the launch? So let's kind of go back to that. What was that like? Other than terrifying.
Yeah, thank you. You put the word. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Other than terrifying.
Right.
So kind of a little bit of a backstory for me is I had gone to culinary school. I worked at the Radisson for a few years as a cook. And so I had a little bit of a culinary background, and I thought, how do I mix the things that I love? How do I mix food and video games together? And I started kind of looking at spaces downtown, and that was the first place I always immediately thought, I'm like, I want something downtown for multiple reasons. And I had gotten the keys October 23rd, and then I opened November 18th with it. Yeah, I don't know how. Really quickly glazing that over. Yeah.
That one over.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, there was a lot of cleaning. My mom, my husband, and I spent many hours, bless them, because they didn't necessarily have to. And it was a very quick turnaround. Initially, when I had opened, it wasn't exactly what I had envisioned, just because I was kind of like one of those high-risk new business owners, didn't have the experience. And so financially, I didn't have the funding that I was looking for initially. And so I didn't have as many arcade machines. And I kind of like looking back on it because it looks like a completely different space now. But I very quickly was like, okay, let's just open and then kind of slowly work my way into something to where I wanted to be, where it is now.
How many games did you start with?
I started with 9 arcade machines, and I believe it was 8 video game consoles. And now I have over 30 arcade machines and 12 video game consoles.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, it's interesting because you love to see that moment where it's like, look, we're just going to open and we're going to see what happens.
Yes. Yeah. See what sticks. Just
Yeah.
throw everything to the wall and
Yeah.
see what sticks.
Now,
And
what year was that?
2018. It was November of 2018. And then, yeah, we had about a full year, and then COVID ended up hitting. And
So,
Woo!
okay, I was gonna say, okay, so you know, it's just interesting. You know, we did this podcast 5 years ago. It wouldn't even go here, but we're going to go here anyway.
All right, yeah.
So how did that affect what you were doing? I mean, it's like you had to shut it down, right?
Oh, yeah. We had to completely shut down. For 3 months, I had fully shut it down just because initially I was like, no one's going to want to get to-go food for here. Right. Partially then reopened to do to-go food. And then in that, like in 2020, I actually did Thanksgiving take-home meals. And that was something completely out of my wheelhouse because essentially I was like, all right, we're going to do kind of a catering thing where people can reheat the meals. And it kept the lights on. But I remember on Thanksgiving, I had worked like 26 hours straight just to get all of these Thanksgiving meals done. It was one of those moments where I was just like, what is happening? I'm just doing anything to survive. And I'm very excited because I'm still here. But it was, whew, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a lot.
I was going to say, you made it through. And
Yes,
that's, I
yeah.
mean, such a testament to so many places that, I mean, it was just hard. It
Yeah.
was so
Oh,
hard
yeah.
for all of us.
Yep.
Yeah, but it, you know, what's great about something like that, and again, running a business, owning a business, figuring out what sticks, it made us all better in the end.
100%.
I mean, truly, we all came out the other side
Yes.
and said, okay, we now know what we have to do and how we have to do it because
Yeah.
things changed.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But also, huge kudos to our community, right?
Yep.
Because they're the ones who showed up
Yep.
and said, these places matter.
Mm-hmm.
These places matter to us. These people matter to us. And we want to see them when we come out of this.
100%.
And I mean, I think that's amazing.
What was interesting is, you know, again, if you think back, because it's 4 years, you know, you're looking at 4 years ago, almost to the day as we record this up. It's like, you know, everyone was trying to figure out, okay, so what do we do?
Yep.
You know, how do we go get food? And how, you know, from an insider's perspective for you, it's like, all right, how do I keep the lights on? How do I not lose this thing?
Yeah.
So you saw businesses that never did takeout before do takeout from the curbside, and it's like it started an entire industry.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know, pizza places were probably the best in position to do anything.
Yeah,
Only
they
because
just knew.
They
Yeah.
did the,
Yes.
They did the
Yep.
delivery. They were all set. It's like, nothing changed for us. We
Yeah.
need more people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
You know, places where people were coming in to congregate. It was just different business model.
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, now if people don't know or if somebody has never been in, you know, again, you've got 30 stand-ups. You've got how many video game, you know, tell us the shtick.
Oh, okay. This is the shtick I tell
Yeah.
every new customer.
Yeah.
So how it works is whenever you purchase any food and drinks, you get tokens for all of the arcade machines. All of our machines are 1 to 2 tokens per play. A lot of times I tell people if you get enough food and drinks, like you're not going to have to buy anything additional to be able to play any of the games. And once you purchase something, all of the video game consoles are free to play. And I've got 12, I think. It sounds terrible. I lose track all the time, which I shouldn't. Like, I should just know this now, but yeah.
The best game you have in your mind,
Oh, man.
if you have to pick.
Okay, so I'm a huge sucker for Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay.
I grew up on that when I was like 15 or 16 as a birthday gift. My mom had gotten me a PlayStation 2. And if you don't know what Dance Dance Revolution is, it's essentially the game where you're playing a dancing game and you have like the little arrows on like the top, left, bottom, right. And I mean, like using my hands as if people can see me currently. You would get like these plastic pads essentially for the PlayStation where you could play Dance Dance Revolution. And I loved it. I played it all the time when I was a kid. And so now I actually have the full-fledged arcade machine. And I had purchased that. I was really excited about it. I think I had purchased it like 3 or 4 days before we shut down. I was devastated.
My bad.
I was just like, but I have this cool game.
Right. So what's the reaction when people come in the first time?
They kind of their eyes get wide and I get really excited and geeked out because they seem very excited because that's one of the first games that people see is the Dance Dance Revolution. And then they just kind of almost revert back to that young child of like, I remember this game. I remember Galaga. I remember Pac-Man. And it's a very nice, it's warms my heart every time.
And I can drink now when I do this.
Yeah.
This is even more fun.
I can have adult beverages and play my favorite games. Yeah.
All right.
The whole place too is decorated.
Yes.
And it's just all in theme, which
Yep.
is great. Doesn't matter where you go. You head to the bathroom, there's going to be something really cool to see.
Yeah.
So you pick the games. What about the food? I mean, you got a culinary background. So
Yeah.
how does that? How about a menu?
Oh yeah. So one of my big things that I always wanted to do, and this like I've always been very like community focused with other fellow businesses. And so the menu also has a lot of like local businesses that I support. And that was one thing I always wanted to do. Ever since I had opened, I said I want to get all my breads from Sarkozy's, which we still do. I get all of my meats from Carlson Farms. I get my jams from Bilberry Jams, which is also the owners of Pop City Popcorn. I get my ice cream from Plainwell Ice Cream. That was like a huge important thing for me. And our menu fare is basically burgers, fried foods. We just put a chicken sandwich on the menu. So like we're always just trying to do as much as possible from scratch, but things like mozzarella sticks and jalapeno poppers.
Hard.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to even attempt to do those. So we'll just, fried foods. It's fine.
But on top of that, one of the coolest things that I think you all do is your special events, your special things that you do, whether it's a pairing or your dinners. Can you tell everybody about all of those things?
Yeah, so I recently have been trying to do more beer pairings or wine pairings. So it's a 4-course dinner. Typically, it's $40 per person. I'm trying to get like a more budget-friendly every other month to where people can experience like a little bit more of an upscale fine dining like atmosphere without breaking the bank. Sure. And so this past one, I actually did a Spanish wine dinner where $10 went towards the downtown Kalamazoo shops to basically help fund events, things like that. And this upcoming one is going to be in May, which is going to be May the Course Be With You. And it's a Star Wars themed dinner.
Yeah. God, I love you.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that one. Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked.
So what do you, give me just a taste. What am I looking at?
Oh, man.
One
gosh.
thing.
I know that we're going to do something with blue milk. I know that much. And
Okay.
I'm thinking it's going to be a dessert course because I think it's gonna be like an Earl Grey custard, which actually has the color of that blue milk, and so yeah.
That is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
You said before that you knew you wanted to start a business and you wanted to start it in downtown Kalamazoo. Give me a why on that.
I've been here my entire life, born and raised, aside from when I went to culinary school, and I always thought in my head, especially with like the video game bar, I thought downtown is the perfect location for it simply because you're getting people that might not be coming to Kalamazoo very often, like tourists, things like that. You also are getting the aspect of there's businesses where they might be bringing people in that are from, outside of the state that don't have a video game bar. And that was like one thing for me, like when I had gone to Orlando, never been to one before. Sure. And so I kind of just wanted to have that central location because I thought that I was getting the best of all worlds.
I think, I did not know that there was others. So it's like, I thought you were the only one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you know.
Yeah. It's becoming like way more popular nowadays. Like 7 or 8 years ago when I had first gone, I don't think it was as popular, but it's getting a lot of traction. Like in major cities, there's usually at least 2 to 3 like video game or arcade bars. The one thing that I think sets like us apart a little bit more is just because we do have a lot more like video game consoles than arcade bars. A lot of the arcade bars are simply just like the stand-up coin-operated machines. Sure. Whereas for me, I'm like, I love Mario Kart on Nintendo 64, so we always usually have that rolling. Or we've got a PlayStation 1, like things like that.
That's really awesome. I love the events idea. So if people want to know more about you, if people want to find you, if they haven't been to your place yet, just give me the location, give me where they got to go.
So we're located at 116 Portage Street downtown. It's kind of at that cross section of Michigan Avenue and Portage Street. And probably the easiest is looking us up on social media. We have an Instagram, we've got a Facebook, and we also have a website, which is lfgamingbar.com. That has a lot of our information, but usually Facebook and Instagram have all the events and whatnot that we have going on.
Amy, you're awesome. awesome.
Thanks.
You do a great job. So congratulations.
Thank you.
On getting this far.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
I bet. All right, Jessica. Gotta have stuff going on downtown, right? There's always stuff going on.
We always have stuff going on downtown. There's always something going on.
I know.
So we have coming up the excellent I Spy egg find.
Easter
yes.
weekend. Why not?
So the 29th and 30th, if you come to downtown, there are going to be eggs hidden in a lot of the shops. I would like to say all, but it's going to be almost all. What you're going to do, you're going to pick up your little sheet of paper. You're going to walk around to all the shops, find the egg that's hidden somewhere in the store. Maybe it'll be in the window. Maybe it'll be somewhere within the store. You'll write down what's inside the egg and then get so many, turn them in. And we have 2 amazing baskets up for grabs.
Fun.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
then First Friday.
Yep.
April is coming up already. I don't know how that happened.
I
but
blinked, and then all of a sudden it's April.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So that'll be coming up 5 to 8 o'clock. Come to downtown, grab a drink in the Central Commons, cocktail, mocktail, walk around, check out all the musicians, all of our amazing local artists, and just have a good time.
That's cool. Amy, Jessica, thank you so much. This is Shop Talk, and this is episode number 3.
Yay!
Yay!